Okay. I'm live on YouTube. Hello, all my invisible friends. All right. I have to find the chat. The pop-out chat window. I had it. Here it is. What's up, everyone? Briar Rose, what's up, man? Jeremy Rude. Jeanette Louise. Kathleen Gebhardt, what's up? Jeremy Rude says this music choice suits you. That's King Crimson, Jeremy. Jeremy Rude, you are invisible. All I see is your name, man. You could be a bot for all I know. You could just be some Google bot. It's a bot. Enrique Rivera Jr., what's up? JJ Kicks. But you know what? I know who is real in this one. Jeanette Louise, who's a former client of mine. What's up, Jeanette? Man, we haven't talked in like 2 years, right? When did we work together, Jeanette? Was that like 2 or 3 years ago? It seems like it's been a while. All right. Briar Rose says that is not Johnny Cash. What? Brooke Barlow, Colorado City, Arizona. Colorado City, Arizona. Isn't that funny? When I lived in Southern California, I always thought it was really funny when I was a little kid. When you go to the Colorado River, you go to Arizona, not Colorado. Colorado City. I don't know where Colorado City, Arizona is, though. Cesar's trolling. Cesar's trying to get a reaction from me. He says, hello, God of keto gurus. Because Cesar's playing with me. He's making a joke because I'm always talking about don't look at me as a guru. Don't look for the guru. Don't look for one person, for one individual personality to cling to and pretend like they're the source of all truth. Don't make keto your God. Don't make some jerk on YouTube your God. Don't make any man-made thing your idol, right? It's supposed to be a diet. It's supposed to serve you. It's supposed to serve your life. All right. That's a good one, though, Cesar. Thanks for the shout-out. And Acacia Masters, what's up? Who else? Wow. Michael Weisenhauer, hello. We got people from all over. We got Puerto Rico, Portugal, Virginia checking in. Sarah Major, what's up, Sarah? Sarah's always Keto with Honey Bunny, she calls herself now. What's up, Keto with Honey Bunny? Oh, there you go. You got a keto channel now, Sarah. Best of wishes to you. Shout out to Keto with Honey Bunny. Sarah says, I changed my name because I have job applications out. I don't want them Googling my name and finding my YouTube channel too easily. Hey, Carrie. JJ in Los Angeles. What's up? People in Quebec, Canada. Rainy Poland. It's raining here too. All right, I'm done shouting everybody out. Southwest Missouri. Wow, everybody. We've got everybody. Going back to Jeanette. Jeanette says she's lost 42 pounds. That's so crazy. You remember Jeanette, right, Jessica? And are you still in Washington State, Jeanette? You still in that same place? I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy you're doing well. So happy to hear from you and to see you here. April 2015 was when we first worked together. Jeanette, wasn't one of the last times we talked. It was basically like social media was one of those things that was just destroying your ability to connect in the moment and be in the day. It's funny. I'm connecting this back to what I was talking about in the last Hangout, how social media, false social constructs that people subject themselves to, and all of this nonsense that we spend our time, that a lot of us waste our time arguing with people on the internet about nonsense. And that can be a major detriment to our health, to fat loss progress, and mental and cognitive health in general. So, yeah, that was one of the things that I remember you were about to tackle, was your relationship with the social media beast. Hope that's going well. All right, let's see. Rainy Poland. Yeah, it's actually rainy Ecuador right now, and I'm on the verge of shivering right now. Even though I'm wearing a shirt, I'm full on the verge of shivering. Whew, I was hanging out typically, of course, shirtless earlier because I like the cold. I like to expose my physiology to these minor stressors. A little bit of cold exposure can go a long way for reducing inflammation. You know, a simple cold shower one time a day can really help to reset the hormonal system, kind of flush stress hormones through and out of the body, and help us to get control of our fight or flight response and of breathing. But since I'm flapping my gums incessantly right now in front of a screen, hoping that somebody's getting something valuable out of this, my breathing is interrupted. So that actually creates a physiological response of near shivering in me right now. And I need to kind of calm it down, get control of my physiology because it is cold here in Ecuador. Yes, I do wear shirts. Yes, I wear them, but only when I need them. All right. So, SA, how's it going? She says, I've been torn lately, doing keto and OMAD, and love OMAD because it fits my lifestyle so well. I hear that is bad. Your thoughts? All right, so OMAD, when I first read your sentence, I didn't know what you're talking about, but now I get it. OMAD is an acronym for 1 meal a day. All right, you say you feel torn. 1 meal a day fits your lifestyle well. You're doing keto with 1 meal a day. You're a female, I can tell from your profile picture. That's all the context I've been given so far. So I, of course, can't spend the whole time going into deep context with you like I would with a normal client. But let's go through some potential contexts and make all sorts of assumptions and hope that one of them nails and lands for you. So SA, I'm guessing you think that 1 meal a day might be detrimental to you because you've heard that women with hormonal issues can typically have a stress response to things like intermittent fasting, periodic fasting, or extreme calorie restriction. And this is completely true. Females who have a tendency to, females who already have a high stress lifestyle, people who work night shifts, people who are prone to intense psychological stress, which is most of us nowadays. We're raised in a completely neurotic society. We're taught to have neurosis and neurotic behavior and thoughts about nearly everything. You know, I mean, the average Western individual right now is raised to be afraid of not only the weather, circumstance, chance, death, their neighbor. I mean, shoot, other people's opinions of them, what people say and think about them on social media, all this neurotic stuff that we're constantly drilled with culturally takes its toll on us. So a lot of us are overstressed. A lot of us are tightly wound. And in those situations, 1 meal a day could be something that can be an extra physiological stress on the body. Just like in those situations, taking ice baths could be something that's a little bit more stressful than their body and their physiology is ready to handle, right? Because these are all hormetic stressors. You know, whether it's going and soaking in a really, really cold river here in the Andes of Ecuador for 30 minutes and getting out and shivering for a long time, whether it's that or whether it's caloric restriction, carbohydrate restriction in some cases, these things can be a little bit stressful on the body. So if you feel like you're burning the candle at both ends, if you're not sleeping well, if you're not getting the results you desire, then perhaps backing off of the restricted eating window would be a good idea. However, if you have a lot of body fat to lose, if you feel good, if you've got stable, steady energy throughout the day, if you don't feel like your physiology is about to crumble underneath you, if every minor stressor doesn't become the straw that broke the camel's back, then perhaps you're doing fine. So I hope that helps. I hope those are, at least somewhat applicable in your situation or in the situation of somebody else who's considering doing time-restricted eating or even 1 meal a day with the ketogenic diet. If you got high stress, thyroid issues, if you're a woman, if you don't sleep very well, some of these might be compounded by 1 meal a day. But in the right context, might be totally fine. All right. Hello from Syria. Whoa, are you really in Syria? Are you kidding me? You got, all right. Syria's checking in. That's awesome. Keisha Masters. What's up, Keisha? Keisha going back up. I just got thrown out. Just bought the cookbook, says Keisha. So excited. The cookbook, she calls it now. Wow. All right. So the cookbook is called The Ketogenic Edge Cookbook, a training manual for low carbohydrate, ketogenic, and paleo cuisine. Renee Runnels from Boston says, love my cookbook. We've been getting loads of positive feedback from this book. It's really been picking up in popularity as well. And we're just as excited as you guys are to receive it and use it, to share it with you, because we spent over a year and a half making it. So yeah, for those of you who are commenting or reading the comments or seeing people's comments and they're talking about the cookbook, that is available exclusively at primaledgehealth.com. There is a link in the description of this video where you can get the Ketogenic Edge Cookbook, a training manual for low carbohydrate, ketogenic, and paleo cuisine. Jessica's book, which she gave me an author credit on, is by far it's the top keto cookbook that you're ever going to find. It's a training manual. It's not just a cookbook. It's literally a training manual to help you unearth, excavate, and uncover your own innate abilities in the kitchen, right? It's not just a list of recipes. Oh, you make this, you combine this. Here's a bunch of processed ingredients. You mix Quest chocolate powder, chocolate birthday cake with some of this coconut flour. No, it's none of that. These are nutrient-dense, whole foods-based ingredients. There's no processed stuff in it. Nothing against Quest, just as an example. The birthday cake protein powder is not a part of my daily diet, nor is it a part of my kids' daily diet, nor is it a part of clients who I'm trying to help with fat losses daily diet. So this book was basically made for people like me and for people like the clients that are trying to lose body fat that I work with on a daily basis. The average individual doing a ketogenic diet, we know, is doing it for fat loss. So we put macros on all the recipes. All of them are fat loss friendly macros. And it's all whole foods based ingredients, because that's what works across the board, across all macro spreads, cutting out processed food, stopping eating the industrial waste diet that we've been spoon-fed since we were children through mass media, corporations like Monsanto, Kraft, General Mills, and all of these parasites. We can take responsibility for our health and eat a nutrient-dense whole foods diet, and that is one of the cornerstones of any fat loss strategy, is whole foods. So this whole cookbook is based around whole unrefined foods. And not Whole Foods as in the company that was just bought by Amazon.com. Whole Foods is in unrefined, unprocessed, legitimate, real foods that grow from the ground, or walk around and eat foods that grow from the ground. Jeremy Root says, shivering because you're a lean machine. All right. Rose May Budd says, hi, Tristan. Rosie May from the north of England here. Been on keto 3 weeks and starting to get restless, jumpy feeling in arms and legs coming and going. Is this to be expected? Great question. That's probably due to an electrolyte imbalance, meaning when you start a ketogenic diet, when you first kick in ketosis, your body's going to lose some water weight. With that water weight goes the electrolytes, sodium, magnesium, and potassium. You need to get in a significant amount of sodium on keto. That's one of the first things I'll recommend, making sure you're getting in sufficient salt. The next thing is magnesium. Oh yeah, sufficient salt. If you're a female or a male, minimum 5,000 to 7,000 milligrams of sodium per day. That doesn't all have to come from salt. That can also come from sodium in your foods. So eat salty foods. Salt your food liberally. For most people, about a few teaspoons a day of salt is going to be required in addition to the sodium in the food that they're already eating. Next one is magnesium. That one's pretty easy. I almost always recommend, even when I'm working with clients, I almost always recommend supplementing with magnesium. Let me tell you why. This isn't because I'm a salesman of magnesium supplements. It's not because I like supplements in general, because I don't like using supplements when they're not useful. There's no supplement that across the board all people need, but most people doing a ketogenic diet and most people on a standard American diet, on a Western diet in general, are depleted of magnesium. So magnesium glycinate is usually my go-to source for magnesium. Also, magnesium malate can be okay, or magnesium citrate to a lesser extent, because both of those last ones can be mild laxatives. But magnesium glycinate is not a laxative. I suggest taking about 400 milligrams 2 times daily, up to 3 times daily, depending on your activity levels of magnesium glycinate, and then getting potassium from foods. So potassium-rich foods would be stuff like avocados, spinach, pumpkin seeds, Shoot, meats and fish also have it. So yeah, get the potassium in via diet, 2 to 4,000 milligrams of potassium per day. Sodium, magnesium, potassium, your leg cramps, those jumpy feelings you get in your limbs. Shoot, some people get headaches. Keto flu symptoms can manifest in many different ways in many different people. But if you get your electrolytes in, you will be good, assuming you're not starving yourself of macronutrients as well. So that should help. Man, we got so many comments. What's up, everyone? Coffee DEZ says, should women do keto and intermittent fasting differently? That's a good question. Yeah, everybody should do everything differently. I mean, I'm not just saying that to be confusing or anything. This is a basic physiological truth that you and I, living in different contexts with different intentions, with different physiologies, are going to have different responses to minor hormetic stressors like caloric restriction or time-restricted feeding or fasting. So some women, and this isn't all women, but more women tend to have problems hormonally with thyroid and stuff like that when they do intermittent fasting than do men in general. Now, why this is, I do not know. I will not claim to know. There are many different theories out there. I don't have time to run through all of them, and they're not even fresh in my memory right now anyways. But a lot of women do have issues with intermittent fasting. But you don't have to do intermittent fasting to lose body fat. Intermittent fasting doesn't make you lose fat regardless of your macronutrient or your total caloric intake, just like keto. So if you're trying to do time-restricted eating window because you've heard that it can help with insulin resistance, stuff like that, yes, it's true. Time-restricted feeding can help with insulin resistance, but so does just caloric restriction. Calorie restriction is required to lose body fat. I'm sorry to those people who don't believe that calories matter. If you say calories don't matter, you're essentially saying that energy balance doesn't matter. And that is a statement that I can't jump on board with. Now, of course, calories in, calories out as a dogma is totally limited and has failed because it doesn't take into account many things, including different macronutrients are treated differently in the body. The physiological responses of hunger due to hormonal changes due to these macronutrient levels are different across different diets. So you can induce a state of satiety through ketosis by giving somebody a higher fat, low carb ketogenic diet. You can create a state where they're just not as hungry. They don't lose body fat on that diet because it doesn't matter how much fat they eat. They lose body fat on that diet because they naturally restrict their calories and they eat less because their hunger drops because of the hormonal situation going on. So calories in, calories out doesn't take account of that. But to say, oh, well, because calories in, calories out isn't describing the totality of what we see happening, doesn't mean we throw out the babies with the bathwater, right? Doesn't mean energy balance doesn't matter. It just means that we need to strategize and leverage the calories that we do eat in order to maximize our satiety in our diet and reduce hunger if we want to lose body fat long term. So if you're worried about doing intermittent fasting, if you think it might be too stressful for you as a female, perhaps getting a nice big breakfast in the morning and then doing a nice sized dinner in the evening would be a nice, healthy, happy medium for you. Because you could skip lunch. You could still get about 10-hour fast in between meals. Say you eat breakfast at 7 o'clock in the morning and then you have dinner at 6 o'clock in the evening. That's an 11-hour fast in between meals. You will be getting in a little bit of that mild autophagy, and you won't be creating such a stress response that some women experience when they fast for longer periods of time. But just because some women have problems with intermittent fasting doesn't mean all women must avoid intermittent fasting. It's all about individual context. It's all about what works for you and your situation. It's not about what some guru tells you is the truth, right? It's about what really works. It's about what the true truth is, not what some nonsense spewing guru on YouTube, Facebook, or anywhere else says is true. All right. So question what I say, question what other people say, make up your own decisions and test what works on you. So if you're enjoying it, don't worry about it. All right. Okay. Bryro says, I'm watching while cooking zoodle shreds and making zoodle chicken Alfredo for breakfast. Jessica, what the heck is a zoodle? Zucchini noodle. Okay. We just call it zucchini pasta. I like it. Good work. All right. Let's see what else. We got so many questions, so many comments here. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. Timotei. What's up, Timotei? Says, finally made it to a Hangout session. I was hoping for this for a long time. I've seen most of your Q&As and podcasts and must admit, you've inspired me to move out from today's dumbed down society. Thanks. But look, we can't move out of society. Look at me. I'm still interacting with you. I still have to take part economically in society. I still, society, I know that's such a broad term, right? I don't think the point is to leave society. I think the point is to influence it in a way that positively change it. And maybe to extract ourselves and get far away from the dense centers of, the destruction and madness that generate some of this feeling. But yeah, it's like we can't really leave. Like some people say, oh, I love how you like got off the grid. It's like, we aren't off the grid. We still got electricity. I'm on the internet here. Off the grid, out of society. I mean, complete extrication from society is impossible, right? So yeah, we can't leave it. We can change it. We can be in the world, but not of the world. Little Big Head says, tips on doing keto in the USA. Yeah, all my tips are for doing keto in the USA or wherever you may be. 95% of the clients we work with doing keto in the USA. Tips for doing keto in the USA. Keep your carbs low enough. Get sufficient protein. Don't eat astronomical amounts of protein that you don't need. And fat is your energy source. If you want to burn more body fat, you will consume less dietary fat. If you wish to burn less body fat, hence remain weight stable, or gain body mass, like lean body mass, then you will eat more fat on your plate and hence less fat from your body. So there it is. Whoa, Barry O'Sullivan. I got another client, another former client kicking it. Barry, how are you, my friend? It's been a long time since I've heard from you. What's up, Barry Sullivan? Derek Matthews says sunflower seeds have magnesium. Yes, they do. Cacao also has a lot of magnesium. Actually, raw cacao might be one of the best sources of magnesium on the planet. Now, Maria says, opinion on 90% dark chocolate. No problem with it inherently, but in the context of ketosis, you do want to avoid that added sugar. I prefer 100% dark chocolate, 100% cacao. You can get cacao paste or cacao butter and mix in cacao powder to get the desired level of bitterness and polyphenols levels that you want. But I'm really into cacao as a source of both polyphenols and delicious. Let's see what else. What do you think of chelated magnesium and potassium? Magnesium glycinate, as I just mentioned, is a chelated form of magnesium. That is one of the best sources of magnesium. So fantastico. Derek Matthews wants to know about workout vids. I don't know. I've done some videos of working out and stuff. I'm not so into it. As like just the process of making workout vids, I'm not so into. Yeah. But maybe I'll do some stuff. Most of my workouts lately have not been using heavy lifting like I did a lot of in the past. Years ago, I used to include some workout footage every once in a while, doing some powerlifting movements. I have been backing off of powerlifting movements and actually doing more kettlebell training and a lot of hiking, sprinting, and believe it or not, more like cardio stuff just because I've been enjoying it lately. I live in the mountains of Ecuador. I love to hike. I love to get outside. I like to work out outdoors. When I work out, I like it to be in fresh air, not under artificial light. So I'm just not so into going to gyms anymore. I like to just have some kettlebells around, throw them around outside, maybe do some body weight movements outside and get out in nature whenever I can. So yeah, that's been my workout so far. Maybe I'll include some videos on what I do, but most of it has been sporadic, more intuitive, and less structured than what I've done in the past. And when, it's good to undulate and periodize all things, training, diet, lifestyle. And yeah, so that's kind of how I've been periodizing training lately. All right, let's see. Okay, Ontario, California. Right on, Coffee DEZ. Ontario, my dad used to work in Ontario. I think I mentioned that in the last Hangout, and I might have been responding to you as well. Okay. Kevin Jones says, loving keto, down 50 pounds in just over 5 months. Goal is to lose another 50 pounds. That's so awesome, man. Kevin Jones down 50 pounds in over 5 months. Just over 5 months. So that's over 10 pounds a month. That's fantastic progress. You're changing your life, man. And it's not just like thanks to keto. This is something that you did. This is something that you're doing. You decided that you needed to change. You decided that what you were doing wasn't working anymore, and you sought something better. So you're treating your body well. You're treating your vessel right, and it's working. So keep doing what you're doing. Coffee to Easy says, what about raw honey on keto sparingly? No, on keto, your honey is not going to be a part of the diet. Sweet, simple carbohydrates like that, not a part of the diet. The types of carbs you're going to be eating: leafy green vegetables, fibrous veggies, non-glycemic vegetables while you're on keto. All right. Let's see what else. We got Montreal, Quebec. We got Kevin Jones, went from 269 to 218. That's rad. Mutant Stoner's checking in. He's always around. What's up, Mutant Stoner? Says, my dream is to have a cabin in the woods with a high-tech computer system. And you're not in the woods, man. Good Wi-Fi connection. And you ain't in the woods. So I can enjoy life and Game of Thrones at the same time. All right. Well, you know, that's funny. Look, we got this. Looks like we're in a cabin here. It's not so much a cabin, even though it looks like it's a log cabin. We live in a house kind of in the woods in the Ecuadorian Andes. The Ecuadorian Andes are not wooded. But and we can still enjoy Game of Thrones. We still have internet connection. But I don't know. Trying to get the best of all worlds can be hard, right? It's just like people want to get the best out of carbohydrates and the best out of ketosis. Right? You can't live out in the woods and have the modern conveniences of being able to walk down the street and get something at a convenience store real quick. You got to trade things off no matter where you're at. All right. Randy R. What's up, Randy? Says, I just found out via labs I've reversed prediabetes and my hypothyroid, 0 meds. As a former client, your help and advice has been great. And I love Jessica's cookbook. Randy, this is crazy. What? Look at all these former clients tuning in. This is like a big reunion party where I talk to myself and and you guys type to me. This is rad. Randy, congratulations, reversing prediabetes and hypothyroid. I don't know what else to say. I mean, I'm excited for you. You're taking your life back. You're taking charge. And you got off certain meds that you didn't want to be on. So congratulations, Randy. Thank you for the shout out on the cookbook. How about this? We're going to give away, Jessica, should we give away a copy of the cookbook today? Yeah. Jessica says no. Never mind, guys. Sorry. I was said we were going to, can we, Jessica? Yes. All right. She says yes now. We're going to give away Edge Cookbook, a training manual for low carbohydrate, ketogenic, and paleo cuisine. We're going to give that away to a lucky member of the audience. Don't come and tell me, I want a copy, I want a copy, I want a copy. It's just going to be for somebody who's got a nice question or comment. I don't know how I'm going to pick. It's going to be intuitive. It's just going to be whichever, whoever I choose from the commenters watching live. I don't know what the criteria is, but someone's getting that book, unless Jessica decides not to. Okay, no, she says no. She says we can still give it away. So one copy's coming. Let's keep going, guys. Let's see what else we got here. G Powell says, Tristan, I am new to the whole keto scene. I signed up for coaching over the weekend. I was curious, what's the average response time? G Powell. First of all, thank you for being persistent. The fact that you sent me a coaching response or a coaching request, and you're coming here, you're hunting me down, and it tells me that you really want it. So I'm gonna say this. I've been cutting down on the amounts of clients that I've been taking on lately. We've had a pretty intense workload here for the last few months, and it can be exhausting to have so many meetings throughout the week. So I've been pruning it back. G Powell, send me. I'll look through my emails and I'll get in touch with you for your coaching request, and I'll see if I can get you in next week or later this week. Thanks for getting back to me. I don't always get all for coaching, not because it's nothing personal. If anybody contacts me, it's usually just because I don't have time. So yeah, I'll try and fit you in this week or next week. Briar Rose is asking, how many females have experienced hair falling out on keto? All right. That's an interesting question. Hair falling out on keto, hair falling out on low carb, hair falling out on high carb, hair falling out when people lose weight in general. When you're calorie restricting to extreme levels, you can get downregulation in thyroid hormone and hair loss. So if you're going too aggressive, if you're going through a high stress period, then that very aggressive calorie deficit and just the intense fat loss can trigger hair loss, can trigger slowdown in thyroid and hair loss. But also, there could be seasonal things going on as well. What month is it? And are you in a hot, dry climate? I mean, it's the middle of August right now. Humans tend to shed hair seasonally as well. So let's be careful that you're not just making a mountain out of a molehill from something that could be a natural thing going on. Uh-oh. Am I breaking up? Let's see. How's my connection, guys? All right. James Cho says, lost 80 pounds, 9 to 12% body fat now, depending on what method. Energy levels are great, but now that body fat is lower, energy levels sucks. Do I need to eat more fat? Yes, you need to eat more fat. Now that your body fat level is low and you say 9 to 12%, people on 9 to 12% body fat level can sometimes feel really, really crappy. Honestly, I mean, this is when you get down to super low body fat, the body doesn't want to. Huh? Okay. People complaining, you get banned if you complain. I don't even have time to ban you right now if you're bitching. Anyways, low body fat levels can increase stress levels. When you get to that body fat level that is desired, when you've been doing keto for fat loss, you've probably been restricting dietary fat so that you burn body fat. Now what's going on is you need more dietary fat because you have less body fat to burn. Get more dietary fat in, increase your calories, and you'll feel better. I'm glad you lost all that body fat there. But look, 9 to 12% body fat, take it easy. You don't need to lose any more body fat now. Stabilize and enjoy it. All right, Stanislava Popsisolova. What's up? All right, that's a good question, Stanislava. Stanislava says, what is the macros if you want to lose fat? Is it still 75, 10, 5? No, it's never 75, 10, 5. Macronutrient ratio percentages are irrelevant for most of the population. A ketogenic diet is not 80% fat. A ketogenic diet for fat loss is almost never 80% fat. I don't care what the gurus have told you. I don't care what the repeaters and the parrots and the bots out there are saying. But you do not need to eat 80% fat to do ketogenic diet. The easiest way to get into ketosis is straight up restriction of all calories, is starvation. That's how we historically would get into ketosis most of the time, through straight up starvation. Uh-oh. Am I frozen? Let's see. Hold on. I've just pulled up a screen here. Let's see. I think I might be having some technical difficulties, guys. Bear with me here. This is going to keep going as long as it works. Okay. What's going on? All right. I hope I'm clear. I hope I'm loud and clear, and I hope you guys can see me or hear me. All right. Camera's coming back on. Come on now. Camera's going to come back on. Let's see. Come on. I don't know what's going on here, guys. I'm sorry if I'm losing video. Sorry if I'm losing audio. Something's happening. All right, I'm trying to get back. I got no audio or video. Well, it seems I have audio, but I don't have video. If this is the case, I may have to terminate this broadcast. Come on. Let's go, Google. What's going on here? Where's my flippin' video? Anyways, if you guys can hear me and can't see me, that's fine. We'll just keep going. Brooke Barlow says, I've been doing keto for the last 2 months. I have people saying you have to eat fat to lose fat. I have 100 to lose. What do I do? How do I get enough food, energy? Help, please. All right. Good question there. Brooke, like I was just talking about before, macronutrient ratio percentages, macronutrient ratios are largely irrelevant for people doing keto for fat loss. If you're doing a ketogenic diet for fat loss and you've already adapted to that low carbohydrate state and your body is feeling good in it and your hunger levels have dropped, then you want to burn body fat. And in order to burn body fat, we can't be taking in lots of dietary fat. So in your context, when you've got 100 pounds to lose, you do not need to be adding copious amounts of fat. A stick of butter down the hatch is going to do you no good. You want to be burning that body fat and reducing your body fat through using it as energy. So your body has saved it up to use for a rainy day. That rainy day has come. Use it and you will lose it. So burn body fat, not dietary fat. In your case, the macronutrient ratio percentages of 75, 10, 5 are totally irrelevant. But now let's talk about another case that will demonstrate the irrelevance and the silliness of the 80% fat dogma that comes from the early ketogenic diet literature, which was concerning ketosis for children with epilepsy who needed to be growing or be at least weight stable. So they were using this diet to treat epilepsy, refractory epilepsy, children who were getting traumatic seizures that no other drugs would work with. No drugs were stopping their seizures. They found that when they would administer a very, very low carbohydrate diet or that they would completely fast them, that these kids would stop having seizures. Now, they started to devise a diet that would mimic fasting. So they found that they had to keep protein super low, carbohydrates super low, and the only macro they could feed that would still not spike insulin and spike blood sugar very much at all would be fat. So these kids needed a significant amount of fat dietarily to keep them from getting developmental issues. Because we got a 5-year-old kid who's got epilepsy, they need to grow. You can't just fast them into oblivion. So that's where this 80% fat dogma came from. Now, if you're looking to lose body fat, if you've got 100 pounds to lose, don't worry about the 80% fat. Get sufficient protein, which I usually recommend about anywhere from 0.8 grams per pound of your lean body mass or about 1.5 to 1.7 grams per kilogram of your lean body mass. Both of those are on the safe side of the ketogenic spectrum as laid out in all the science and all the stuff by Volek and Finney, The Art and Science of Low Carbohydrate Living, The Art and Science of Low Carbohydrate Performance, and all the ketogenic research done over the years. That level of protein is sufficient. Protein will help you be satiated. It brings satiety. Fat is the energy source. Carbohydrates are also a potential energy source for us, but on a ketogenic diet, we keep carbohydrates low. 20 to 30 grams net carb maximum is low enough, and fat is your source of energy. Now, if you got 100 pounds to lose, you basically want to minimize the amount of dietary fat that you're eating while staying sane and keeping your hunger low. So you want to burn body fat in that case. Get your protein in. Fat is your energy source. You adjust fat according to your goals. More fat equals burn less body fat. Less fat on the plate equals burn more fat from the body, and carbs stay low. It's simple. It's not esoteric. It's not difficult. You don't need to be obsessively measuring your blood ketones every day. You don't need to waste money peeing on pee strips, pissing all over your fingers for no reason. Let's keep it simple. Let's keep it in perspective. And let's focus on the goals and the metrics that matter to us. All right. So hope that helps. Karen Kateria says, class got canceled. Tristan's doing a live video. #blessed. LOL. All right. Jasmine says, thank you for your no-nonsense videos. Have you done any research on the effects of keto on inflammation for people with chronic pain like fibromyalgia? Absolutely. I've done research not only looking at the scientific literature, which has shown that keto is massively beneficial for inflammation and can be really beneficial for chronic pain and especially beneficial for brain inflammation. But I've also done personal research on myself who've dealt with chronic pain for years. For me, ketosis definitely helps to reduce inflammation in my joints, in certain injury-prone areas where I've had injuries in the past, and ketosis has been greatly beneficial for reducing chronic pain and inflammation. We've got someone right here above, Michelle, who says, I was diagnosed with myalgia 2 years ago. I've been on keto for 3 months, and all my pain and symptoms have disappeared. Wow. There you go. Now, I'm not a doctor. I'm not here giving medical advice. I'm not sanctioned by the gods of the medical priesthood to dole out medical advice. So, you want medical advice, go to your medical professional. But I will say that I've seen many people benefit greatly from simple lifestyle and dietary habit changes, including using a ketogenic diet. Among other diets, I've seen many people improve their health, improve their stamina, improve their feeling of well-being, and their effectiveness in their life. So for the individual, Michelle, congratulations on getting rid of all your pain and symptoms. That's your body. You're in charge of it. How amazing is that? What a huge blessing you've been given right there. Just through simple changes, just through controlling things that are put under your dominion, things that you have a God-given right to control, what you put in your body, the things you say, the things you do, thoughts you allow. Through changing those and through managing those, you have transformed your vessel, and that's awesome. Congratulations. All right. Larry McCacken says, love the cookbook / training manual. Blessings to you and your family from Texas. Right on, man. Kevin Jones says the audio is fine. Good. Fantastic. I'm glad I didn't have to end this broadcast. It probably is going to keep freezing. It seems I may have a poor connection on my internet here, but I'll see if I can clear this up. All right. Jasmine says, thank you for the wonderful answer. Right on, Jasmine. Stanislava says, agree, thank you, one day at a time. Exactly. It's one day at a time. It's one moment at a time. It's one breath at a time, right? It's like right now is all what can I do right now that'll keep me going towards where I need to be, towards where I want to be? What can I do right now? It's not what am I going to do tomorrow, the next day? What am I doing right now? All right, Esther says, so fat is the energy source. So fat is the energy source. Still, you want to get the fat from your body and not from your plate. I have no clue how much fat I should take. Is satiety the measurement or just as few as possible? Esther, this is going to depend on your context, right? So in my context, for instance, if I want to burn some body fat, I'm going to need to ride a pretty thin line of intaking enough dietary fat to match my energy output. So if I'm going to be hiking or running around, or if I'm going to be doing a lot of resistance training, I'm going to eat a lot more fat than if I'm sedentary. So I might have a few days, like today, for instance, it's raining outside. I didn't get to do exactly what I had planned today, which was going to be slightly more physical than what I'm doing. I wasn't super physical this weekend. So I require less dietary energy. I'm also weight stable right now, and I'm not trying to lose body fat because I'm pretty lean right now anyways. But in my situation, if I were to want to lose body fat, I would want to eat some dietary fat to support the energy that I'm outputting, but allow me to burn off some of my own body fat as well. What that number is for you, I have no idea because it's about your individual context. But through studying this material that I'm showing you here, through listening to what I'm saying, you can experiment on your own and use kind of the formulas that I'm putting out there to help yourself out. So I hope you can figure it out for yourself. That's what this is all about. I want to train you. I want to help you to where you could be self-sustained, right? That's why we call our cookbook a training manual, not our cute little list of recipes that we stole from everybody else who does the same recipes, right? Because that's not what it is. We developed this cookbook specifically to be a training manual for our clients to teach you how to make nutrient-dense foods in your own kitchen, in your own home. No matter how old you are, no matter where you live, no matter how small your kitchen is, you should see how small our kitchen is. So yeah, that's what's up. All right, let's see. James chose laughing at the pissing all over your fingers for no reason quote. Yeah, you can use that. Pissing all over your fingers for no freaking reason. Sacrificing your hard-earned blood to the little blood ketone meter when you're just looking for fat loss is nonsense. People have been duped. How many millions of dollars being made off of these blood ketone strips? These precision extra blood ketone strips that are being, how many millions of dollars are being made on these unnecessarily for people who are just looking to lose body fat? I've had people come to me, I've had clients come to me who are doing incredibly well on a ketogenic diet. Clients who are losing body fat significantly, who'd already lost 10, 20, 30 pounds. But they measured their blood glucose, their blood ketones, and they found that their blood ketones were only 0.8. And the gurus online freaked them out and had them thinking that they were subhuman glucose burning peons who don't deserve to live because their blood ketones weren't above 1.0 or 2.0 or 3.0 or whatever imaginary number they throw out there on a given day. Anything above 0.5 is ketosis. More ketones doesn't equal more fat loss. And the real metric is not what some stupid little digital blood glucometer tells you. The real metric, as long as you're not a diabetic, of course, the real metric of your progress is your actual freaking progress, right? I don't measure my progress on my diet by what some little machine tells me. I measure my progress on my diet through the progress that I'm seeking. Am I clear-headed throughout the day? Do I have stable energy levels throughout the day? Is my inflammation low? Is my digestion smooth? Am I feeling good and performing well? And am I achieving the body composition change results that I desire, right? So if you're looking for body fat, measure your waist. If you're looking for body fat loss, rather, measure your waist, right? Step on the scale. That's far more valuable than pissing on your fingernails. All right. Pablo Dominguez says, in addition to an appropriate keto intake, what type of exercise do you recommend? Cardio or weights for building muscle or both? Great question, Pablo. And this is not a cop-out. This is the straight-up truth. It all depends on the context, my friend. Some people do better with heavy resistance training. Some people burn out with it. Some people really like cardio. Some people hate it. I like to do a mix of both. In my situation, I like hiking. I like hill sprints. I like running through trails. I like running up and down the hill in my house sometimes. I also enjoy lifting heavy weights, but I know that if I lift heavy weights too much, my body composition gets pushed in a direction where my joints don't feel as good. So when I do get a little bit more bulky and blocky with more muscle tissue, I don't walk as well. I don't move as well. My hips don't feel as good. I've got scar tissue and damage that I've done from treating myself in the past, from, having poor body composition for most of my life. And so doing lots of heavy lifting isn't always my best option, although I like to include it. So in your situation, I don't know. If you want to improve and increase your metabolism, to increase your metabolic rate, to create more mitochondrial density, then strength training will always be beneficial. Also, lean muscle mass is a really important indicator of longevity. So we want lean muscle mass, but you don't need to lift, 5-7 times a week. You also want cardiovascular health. You also want your cardiovascular system to be dialed in. But your cardiovascular health can also be greatly improved just through lifting weights. So it actually depends on what you have access to, what time you have on your hands, what activities you enjoy doing, what your activities that you've done in the past and enjoyed in the past might be, what skills you already have established, and what you want to do and what you want your body to look like. All those are going to affect the optimal training routine and regime, as well as diet for you. So I hope that helps. It's not just me dipping and dodging. but it really is all about individual context. Keisha Masters says, will you be available next month for coaching? Probably. I mean, it's like I can take on some clients as we move forward. Contact me via the coaching section on the website if you're interested, and I'll try to fit in as many clients as I can in the coming months. If I don't get back to you, it's nothing personal. Please get back to me in a few weeks if you don't hear from me. Thank you so much for those of you who are looking for coaching, who want to work with me. I can't always fit in as many clients as I would like, and I want to be able to give each client the attention, the focus, and the energy that they deserve and that they're paying for. All right. Let's see. E. Cho says, can you take too much sodium at one time throughout the day? Yes, you can. And the symptoms will be you will be running to the bathroom. So, yeah, you can definitely take too much sodium in. All right, let's see. So if you're wanting to gain mass, do you recommend keto or more of a traditional bodybuilding diet? If you want to gain mass, carbohydrates are a very effective way to gain mass. If you want to gain mass, and that's the goal right there, if you're looking to bulk, a ketogenic diet might not be the greatest way to go about it. So that doesn't mean you can't gain mass on a ketogenic diet. I gained plenty of lean muscle on a ketogenic diet. In fact, most of the muscle in my frame was gained in a state of low carbohydrate dieting. But that doesn't mean it works perfectly for everyone. You know, Michelle Hines says, thank you very much, Tristan. I feel like a teenager again. That's awesome. That's so cool. So let's go back to the question that I was doing there. Boom, 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 boom. What was the question? I have so many questions. All right. I might have to move on because I forget the question that I was answering because I'm seeing so many. All right. Urska Horvat says, hey, Tristan, I'm pregnant, 23, and I'm avoiding meat. Do you have any suggestions where and how I can get as many nutrients as possible for pregnancy? Yeah, get it from meat. Urska Horvat, if you're pregnant, why in the heck are you going to avoid meat? That child that is growing inside of you needs fat-soluble vitamins. Vegan and vegetarian diets have been shown to be very damaging to children's health. Getting fat-soluble vitamins in will be very beneficial to your baby. Please eat fish. At least eat fish and eggs. Fat-soluble vitamins are the utmost important for children. Michael Smith says, do you recommend Dr. Berg, Jason Whitrock, and Thomas DeLauer? I've heard of these guys. I've seen the Jason guy's videos. I actually responded, not to him, although he aggressively responded to me in my comment section, which was hilarious, which he deleted, unfortunately. I don't know them. I'm sure they've got some good things to say. Doesn't mean I have to agree with everything they say. It's not about personality. It's about what we're. So it doesn't matter if I resonate with Dr. Berg or Jason Whitrock or Thomas DeLauer. It doesn't matter if I resonate with them, what I think about them. None of that matters. What matters is what resonates with you. Like if you're into that content, dig it, go for it. If you like the information they give, fact check it, see if it's true, and move forward with it. So yeah, man, I don't necessarily recommend any other personalities. It's not about personalities. It's not about persons. I recommend you look into the scientific literature on the ketogenic diet. I recommend that you do your own research, that you question what anybody says, especially when they're doing it with slickly edited, tightly controlled messages that are there for commercial purposes. So that's what I'll say about anybody putting out information, including myself. Question it and see what works for you. All righty. Let's see. All right. Simon says, endurance cycling. How do I keep up my energy after an hour? Well, if you're doing a ketogenic diet and you want to do well on endurance exercise, you got to get adapted, and that can take months, my friend. Yeah, it just takes a few weeks to get your ketone levels up and to feel good on a day-to-day basis, but to get a high level of output, a high performance, to get into that high performance state, it can take months to actually generate the mitochondria necessary and to really get the deep adaptation in your diet. Simon Malster says, tomatoes and olive oil on keto, okay? Yes, totally fine. Jeanette Louise says, your thoughts on alternate day fasting. Jeanette, knowing that you're an ex-client of mine, my thoughts are for your context, just specifically your context, it's not going to be ideal. Maybe 1 day a week fasting could be something to play with in your context, but I think what you've been doing has been working and you should stick with it. I mean, you're down 40 pounds. You're probably looking great nowadays, probably better than you've looked in years. Probably look better than you did when you were competing, right? Because you're actually healthy now. You're not destroying your physiology by shredding down, getting up on stage like that, right? Like you're doing so well. I don't think the alternate day fasting would be ideal in your situation. In general, can be decent for some people, especially people with a lot of body fat to lose, like 100, 200 pounds to lose. But every other day eating, fasting, not really sustainable for most people. Of course, you can find outliers and people for who it works very well for. But yeah. Keto with Honey Bunny says, I had daily pain and it is gone since starting keto. That's awesome. That's so cool. All right, let's see. Tristan, what if my fiber is higher than sugar? For example, 50 sugar, 70 fiber. All right, you're counting. All right, you're asking about net carbs versus total carbs. On a ketogenic diet, when you're eating whole foods, count net carbs. All right, eat leafy green vegetables and count net carbs. Don't do the silly Quest bar games of, you add fiber to this or that and think it negates other sugars. It doesn't negate the sugars, but you don't count the sugars from fiber, or the non-sugar carbohydrates, which are fiber, will not be counted towards your daily macros on keto. So go for net carbs. Linda Flanagan, what's up? Ashley S says, just ordered Jessica's cookbook. Can't wait for her next book. Yeah, Jessica can't wait either. She just finished the cover today for the next book. Well, kind of dialing it in. But yeah, the book is going to be incredible. The next book, which is going to be called The Ultimate Guide to Low Carbohydrate Baking, we might have to put a disclaimer. Use at your own risk, because this book is going to be it's going to be completely just off the chains delicious. But we're going to have to put a disclaimer that for a lot of baked goods, you want to make sure that you're using moderation, because some of these recipes are hyper palatable and can make it easy to overeat. So we know, anybody who's paid attention long enough to my channel knows that on a ketogenic diet, you can still gain body fat if you're overeating fats or any macronutrient, right? So on a ketogenic diet, you can gain body fat through eating too much dietary fat. I know that people have told you it doesn't matter how many calories you eat on keto. I know that people have told you this, but it simply isn't true. I'm sorry. I can't tell you how many clients I've worked with who've come to me after working with other coaches or taking piss poor advice from other individuals, and they've been told, I'm talking 5'4" women who are told to eat 180, 280, sometimes 300 grams of fat a day, and they gain body fat. So that's what's up. All right, let's see what else. What's going on here? Somebody asks, are there any significant drawbacks to compressing the feeding window down to 1 to 2 hours? I ingest enough calories and do not suffer from constipation. Yeah, the only drawback could be for some people, that's a lot of food to eat in 1 hour. For some people, it could mean a little bit extra elevated stress hormones throughout the day. But if it works for you, if it feels right and you like it, nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying that this will benefit others or that most people could be benefited by this, but yeah. Keto with Honey Bunny says, don't swear allegiance to one person's Kool-Aid. Exactly. Don't swear allegiance to anybody's keto Kool-Aid. All right. Let's see. Mike E says, sup, dude? Love your channel. Right on, Mike. How's it going? All right. Jeremy says, any particular dietary recommendations to promote wound healing? Now, that is a great question. Actually, a ketogenic diet has been shown. If you look up ketogenic diet, look at the study. Use those keywords in Google. Ketogenic diet, wound healing animals. There's a study done. I'm not sure if it was on rats or on bunnies. I think it was on rats. But they found that a ketogenic diet greatly accelerated wound healing, which is very, very cool. So, yeah, check it out. All right. Let's see. Remember earlier when I said I was going to give away a copy of the Ketogenic Edge cookbook? Do you guys remember? I said I was going to give away Jessica, do you remember? Jessica almost ruined it for everybody. She said I can though. Jessica says it's time now to make the decision. And the decision is Jasmine Mists. Jasmine Mists just made a comment. She said, keto with Honey Bunny, your story gives me a lot of hope. Thank you for sharing. Jasmine Mists, have you already got the Ketogenic Edge cookbook, a training manual for low carbohydrate, ketogenic, and paleo cuisine? If not, and if you're still watching, type in your email in a comment. I will copy your email and I will get you a copy of this ebook today. You are the lucky winner who gets a copy of the Ketogenic Edge cookbook. That's Jasmine Mists. If I don't hear from you, then I'll have to give it to someone else. Jasmine, congratulations. And Keto with Honey Bunny rather. Thank you so much for inspiring Jasmine. Linda Flanagan says, I never win anything. Come on, Linda, you win. With that attitude, with that self-talk. All right, James Cho, what's up, man? Mike E says, good, man, just getting ready for work. I found your channel a few months ago, started doing keto, lost 27 pounds. My blood work is amazing. Thank you for your informational videos and motivation, dude. Right on. Mike E, my friend. All right, wait. Jasmine says, I don't have the book yet. Oh my gosh, thank you. Right on, Jasmine. I need your email. There it is. All right, let me copy your email, and if you want, you can delete it so that nobody spams you. Jasmine, your book is coming. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. To everybody else who was looking for a free copy of the Ketogenic Edge cookbook, I'm sorry, there's no more of the giveaway today. Jasmine's, I don't know. I liked her comment. She was being nice. She was thanking somebody. She was being grateful. She was expressing gratitude towards somebody else. She wasn't trying to toot my horn. And hopefully she questions everything and continues to grow and help other people. So, Jasmine, enjoy the book. She says she's crying. Jasmine, that's so sweet. Oh, really? I hope it's a blessing to you. Check out the vegetables section and check out the organ meat section, Jasmine. I know you're looking to reduce chronic pain, chronic inflammation. I hope the book is a good guide. I hope you get some good ideas on how to prepare nutrient-dense seafoods that can actually give you DHA, selenium, and iodine, which all will help lower inflammation and improve your health. Now, for the individuals who wanted a free copy and didn't get one, I'm sorry, but you know what the good news is? The book's cheap. It's available on our website. You can get the ebook for $20 on our website. We spent over a year and a half making it. There's over 137 recipes in it, or maybe exactly 137 recipes. And it's only $20. So hit up primaledgehealth.com. You can get your copy exclusively there. It's not on Amazon. It's not anywhere else. You can only get it at primaledgehealth.com. So people are saying congrats to Jasmine. Everybody for congratulating Jasmine. Thank you. All right, Mike says, what kind of coffee beans do you get where you live? I'm assuming you get some Primo stuff since you live in South America. Cool. That's a good question, man. Actually, Mike, where we live in the Andes of Ecuador, where we live, we have an abundance of some of the best coffee in the world. My parents are big coffee drinkers, and every time they visit here, they bring back like 30 pounds of coffee. And they've told us straight up that they think this is the best coffee in the world. I don't drink coffee every day. Actually, last week I drank coffee like 4 times though, because I was going to a friend's house and I was working on my motor in his garage, and we were building the engine for the Blazer. And he's a coffee drinker, and he had some really good fresh cream, and he was making me coffee every day, and it was delicious. So the best coffee in the world is actually here in Ecuador, in my opinion. And shoot, one day we might just be able to export some and actually provide some of that delicious coffee to some of you guys, but I'm going to have to look into it. That's not going to be anytime soon. So yeah. Timosay says, I think your channel is winning prize for all the watchers. Uh-oh. Tim, thank you for the comment, my friend. I appreciate that, man. Right on. David Mudge says, love your videos. Keep them coming. Linda says, if you send a few messages, a red deal pops up telling you about it. I don't know what you're talking about. Susan says, do you worry about mercury in fish? And that's a really, really good question, because I've mentioned before that fish and seafood are one of the best sources of protein on a ketogenic diet. Now, DHA is not only highly anti-inflammatory, it is not only super, super important for human physiology, for the nervous system, for the brain, and for nearly every physiological process and communication process in the body. DHA, I mean, it's crucial. I kind of lost myself there reading some comments. I spaced out briefly. Mercury in fish. There's also, along with DHA in fish, this is what I was getting at, DHA, which is a long-chain polyunsaturated fatty acid. This polyunsaturated fatty acid can be highly reactive, meaning PUFAs can oxidize easily. PUFA, P-U-F-A. These polyunsaturated fatty acids oxidize easily, but luckily, iodine and selenium are present in fish and seafood, and these help to protect the DHA. It's hard. We got two girls talking really loud downstairs, and I cannot focus. I'm sorry, guys. These polyunsaturated fatty acids are protected by the antioxidants selenium and iodine. But you know what else selenium and iodine do? They transport heavy metals out of the body. So iodine and selenium are very, very beneficial for getting things like fluoride and mercury out of the body. So I am not concerned with mercury levels in fish any more concerned than I am with mercury levels in my air, in the foods that I get that are grown above the ground, or in my vegetables and my fruits. I'm far more concerned with glyphosate contamination in non-organic fruits and vegetables, in the industrial waste foods that we've been fed by Bayer and Monsanto, who are now one. Yes, that's right. The pharmaceutical industry and the food industry have now joined forces before our very eyes, have now grabbed hands to form one giant fist. I mean, it sounds like science fiction, right? The company that genetically modifies foods so that they can handle more of this patented antibiotic called glyphosate that locks up and chelates vital minerals in soil, that actually destroys the bacteria in the soil's ability to procreate, which actually destroys and ruins our gut bacteria, which actually creates disruptions in the microvilli in our gut that allow toxins to pass through the blood-brain barrier and enter the brain. Glyphosate, produced by Monsanto. This company, Monsanto, has now joined forces with Bayer so that they can sell you drugs to help fix the issues, to help cover the symptoms from the from the poisoning, from the pesticides in the food that you're getting. It's absolutely absurd. So I'm way more concerned about glyphosate than I am about mercury levels in fish, which if you eat good quality wild-caught fish, foods like sardines, salmon, these are not very high in heavy metals and mercury. So not too concerned about that. Super concerned, however, with glyphosate contamination, with the destruction of our soil and the destruction of our gut microbiome by corporations like Monsanto and their cronies at General Mills, Kraft, and other corporations that are actually poisoning us and poisoning our soil. All right. Echo Pierce says, apple cider vinegar on keto before meals? Depending on context, sure. Apple cider vinegar for the acetic acid can be helpful for the liver and for digestion. It can be good. But that doesn't mean it's good for everybody in all contexts. All right. Sunsetter says, I'm going to buy the book as soon as I get paid on the 1st. Right on, man. I hope you enjoy it. In fact, I guarantee you'll enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, email me and I'll refund you. All right. Heather says, I've done mostly keto before I knew it had a name. Now I've just done low carb for years and eat avocados every day. My son is a vegan, so our diets clash. He's constantly criticizing my meat and dairy. Whew, that's hard, right? The vegan religion. The vegan dogma can be strong, right? That vegan pride. Whew. Vegan supremacists. All right. Susan says, thanks. Salmon's my favorite fish. Cooked in coconut oil with herbs, it can't be beat. Right on, Susan. I prefer to cook it with butter rather than coconut oil. I don't know. But I go through phases of butter, coconut oil. Actually, olive oil with salmon can be really good too. But the thing with salmon is if you're going to bake it, you got to slice little slivers in there and put really thinly sliced pieces of garlic in between the flesh of the salmon so it kind of simmers into it. and then you put the butter on top of it. So the butter and the garlic all simmer through the entire thing, and then they get all the way down into the skin, and it's just incredible. Yeah, no, it's absolutely amazing. Pablo Dominguez says, gotta go to work. Just wanted to say thank you. I'll get the book today. Your advice is changing my life in a very positive way. I truly appreciate it. Well, Pablo, I truly appreciate your comment, my friend. Seems heartfelt. I mean, I'm just telling it like I call it, calling it like I see it, or however you say. All right. What'd you guys think about Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather? What'd you guys think about it? People are saying it was fixed, Jessica. The fight was fixed, Jessica. You hear that? People are saying Conor threw the fight. The whole thing was a sham. And then they show a clip from round 8 of when Floyd was like dipping down like this and Conor was missing. And then there was a point where Conor had like a right or a left hand and Floyd's face was just bent down right in front of him. And Conor came down and it just like, it looked really weird. But I think it was from the round when he was just completely gassed and he had nothing left. But yeah, a lot of people are trying to claim that the whole thing was fixed. Heather, well, they refuse to accept. But like the timing's interesting. It's, the solstice, right? The black versus white. They're trying to start this whole race war thing. So you have all these like cultural phenomena that happen right around the solstice at the same time. That was what some people were claiming. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was funny. But yeah, to me it seemed like McGregor got gassed out, which this is what I thought was going to happen. And this is what Floyd said he's going to do. I'm going to take you in deep water and drown you. So all he needed to do was wait until the 15 minutes that it takes for McGregor to gas. And it took McGregor a little longer than normal, which is great. And then, I mean, all you need to do was finish him off there. I mean, he didn't need to like actually, I don't know. I don't think McGregor would actually throw the fight either. He was too invested in like the belief in himself and wanting to win and all that. But it's funny to hear that there's always like a theory about everything now, right? Everything becomes the new. Everything's part of. All right, let's see. Causation says Mayweather is an annoying fighter. You saw how Floyd fought? That's not annoying too? Boxing is an annoying fight in general, though. I mean, just like the rules of boxing allow so much obnoxious behavior. All right. Someone says fixed for sure. Floyd was toying with him and it looked like a fight, so people would pay-per-view next time. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it too, right? Like, I don't know, man. It's like, all right, Floyd's not going to risk it. It's the integrity of boxing versus Conor McGregor was the narrative. And what I thought was fascinating, and I'm not saying I think it was fixed, but what I thought was really interesting is in the beginning, all right, so the whole Showtime crew was obviously set up as a very pro Mayweather. So like the announcers and everything, very, very doubtful of McGregor. They didn't want to admit that he was even winning rounds in the beginning. And they kept on making like mountains out of molehills when he was tapping him in the back of the head, which, some of these would be illegal blows. And then they took so long to call out Mayweather for throwing elbows in his throat, for pressing his arm down into the back of his head and stuff a few times. I thought that was really funny. But what was really telling to me was in the beginning how the referee was just staring at McGregor, trying to make it like drive home the point of like, oh, you're naughty, you're the bad boy, you're going to not follow the rules. And McGregor followed the rules really, really well. He followed the boxing regulations super well. So they already tried to set it up like we can rob rounds from you like that. And you could see that the ref was really trigger happy to stop that. I mean, that was not a stoppage. I don't know. But yeah, anyways, I'm not an expert on boxing or MMA, but it was entertaining spectacle for the masses. Greg says, Tristan, no MMA fighters or boxers on keto. Is that realistic? I think they'd want more carbs for the intense nature of the sport. Yeah. All right. Good question. MMA fighters and keto. Here's what I'll say. Ketogenic diet has been shown, and ketones in general have been shown to be very beneficial against inflammation. They've administered ketones, exogenous ketones, during traumatic brain injury, which I've obviously had many times in my life. They've been given ketones during and after traumatic brain injury, and they greatly helped decrease the damage done. So it's known that they can be really beneficial for increasing GABA levels in the brain. So this could benefit people from, individuals with post-traumatic stress disorder to people who have taken blows to the head. So a ketogenic diet can be a great therapeutic response for individuals who have taken brain damage. So most MMA fighters could probably benefit from keto, but their training's not going to benefit from it in the beginning. So for MMA fighters, they're going to require more glucose during this training. They're doing explosive, glycogen-heavy, demanding movements that require glucose, as well as intense, sustained cardio. When you have those combined, you can handle more glucose and be in ketosis. So what I would suggest for people like MMA fighters would be in the off season, in between fights, when you're recovering, do keto as often as possible. When and undulate those carbohydrates and periodize those carbs to support your training so that you can use fatty acids effectively and efficiently when you may and when you can, and so you can use ketones when you can and get the benefits of that. Hope that helps. All right, so this guy says, I mean, fixed in the sense that Floyd could end the match much sooner. Respect for Conor, but his skills was not enough for Floyd. That's another way of looking at it for sure, man. And you could see for those first 5 rounds, Floyd was just letting him play. I mean, he basically was just the equivalent of just walking him around. Like he was walking the dog those first 5 rounds. So, I mean, yeah, I don't think McGregor would throw the fight by any means. But, yeah, that's definitely, Mayweather didn't want to just come out and dominate him in the first round. It was his 50th fight. He wants it to last. So, yeah, maybe Mayweather could have just taken him out in 3 rounds if he really pushed, if he really wanted to. Maybe he should have for the audience's sake, for the sake of a real sport. But it kind of seems like he just kind of, did the old Siamese fighting fish thing where you tire your opponent out and then take him out when it's tired. All right. GB Gonzalez says, brand new to keto, into your channel, a little overwhelmed figuring out macros. Thanks for this channel and for all your comments. Right on, man. I assume that you're referring to my talk earlier about figuring out your macros. Get sufficient protein in. For most people, about 0.8 grams per pound of lean body mass or 1.5 to 1.7 grams per kilogram of your lean body mass. So that's 1 gram per pound of lean body mass, or 1.6 to 1.5 to 1.7 grams per kilogram of your lean body mass in protein. Then fat is the energy portion of the diet, and keep your carbohydrates low. If you're looking to burn a lot of body fat, you're going to want to have some dietary fat, especially in the beginning, but then prune that back to burn as much body fat as you can comfortably and safely and maintainably, sustainably, in order to lose that fat. So I hope that's helpful. Craig Gilman that Misha Tate's on a ketogenic diet. Not sure about her training, though. She was on Joe Rogan podcast talking about it. And here's what I'll say about that. Now, Misha Tate did say she was on a ketogenic diet, but then she also was talking about how she drinks beet juice every day. Now, if she's training, then she could probably handle that with her volume and intensity of training. But it sounded to me like she wasn't quite sure what a ketogenic diet really was all about. Briar Rose asked, what context would apple cider vinegar not be good for a person? Just in the context of some people with extreme gut sensitivities. Some people, when they have apple cider vinegar and stuff like that, they can break out. They can get like really intense gag reflex. They can get flushing. That's, going to the bathroom way more than they want. So for those people, it can be a little bit difficult. Greg says Mayweather was perturbed by McGregor. At times it seemed like it, but it's so hard. I don't know. I don't know what to believe. I don't know what's going on. Mayweather, I mean, he wasn't phased after 10 rounds. Mayweather looked like he didn't have a bead of sweat on his head after 10 rounds. So if he looked perturbed, he's been doing it a long time. Who knows? Maybe PR Zemslaw's theory that he just wanted to make it last a little longer and he could have taken him out early. Maybe that's true. All right. I think it's time to start wrapping this up, guys. We've been talking for like an hour and a half. We've gotten lots of good questions here. We even gave away a free copy of the Ketogenic Edge cookbook. a training manual for low carbohydrate, ketogenic, and paleo cuisine. Jessica, yes. Should we give another cookbook away? Yes. What? All right. One more cookbook is going to be given away. What do you guys think? Should we answer a few more questions and then give away one more cookbook? That's 2 cookbooks for this. All right. We're going to do one more cookbook. One more. All right, here's a good question. You said that many times more ketones does not equal more weight loss, and it's perfectly logical. But due to ketone multifunctionality, maybe more ketones equals an advantage in another context. What are your thoughts? Fantastic question. Of course, every context will require a different analysis. So, in the context of epilepsy, then sometimes more ketones can be useful, right? So in the context of epilepsy, yeah, more ketones would be useful. In the context of inflammation reduction, of preventing traumatic brain injury, of immediately reducing inflammation, then perhaps more ketones might be useful. But across the board, more ketones equals better doesn't ring true. Just like more glucose in your blood doesn't equals better, right? If you're using glucose as fuel, you're not measuring your blood glucose thinking, how high can I get my blood glucose? Just because you have a lot of an energy substrate in your blood doesn't mean you're using it. In fact, diabetics have loads of energy substrate free floating in their blood, right? Type 1 diabetics can have loads of ketones as well as very high glucose, and it's not a good thing. David Mudge wants the cookbook so bad, he says. Sunsetter says, I so appreciate you doing this. All right. Mobsy says, it's all about context. Right on. All right. We've got so many people watching. This is crazy. We'll do a few more questions. Greg says, McGregor did well, I thought, but he gasses early. But not really so much for MMA, though, right? For a 3-round fight, he's okay. And his 5-round fights, but he's been working on it. And he's been getting better. And I think actually the training that he did for this boxing will greatly improve his 5-round go ability when he gets back in UFC. Who should he fight next? That's the question. Heather, what's up, Heather? Michael Eaton says, down 40 pounds since starting keto. Love the cookbook and looking forward to the next one. Thanks for cutting through the nonsense out there. Right on, man. Zach Smith says, the cookbook rocks. Anyone who tries keto should do the cookbook. Right on. All right, we're going to do one more cookbook giveaway. I'm not sure who. James says, Tristan, when I get kicked out of ketosis, why do I get chills in general feeling like crap? Well, why are you getting kicked out of ketosis, right? Like you say, when I get kicked out of ketosis, the language there implies that it's like by accident. But the response implies that you're gorging on lame carbs that you shouldn't maybe be eating. And I'm not one to bash carbs. I do eat carbs in their context, right? Greg wants to see McGregor versus GSP. I don't want to see that at all. I could care less for that fight. I could care less to see GSP hold anyone on the ground and shove his balls in their face for 5 rounds. Keep GSP out of UFC, please. Let's see. What was I saying? Okay. James Cho. What's probably going on there is you're eating something that's not agreeing with you and you're throwing yourself way off track. So if you are on a ketogenic diet and then you're going to include more carbohydrates, why not just include a little bit of carbohydrates when you can use them? Stay the course. If you feel horrible when you get off of ketosis, something's off there, right? And I've never been one to go out there and say, everybody's got to be on a ketogenic diet. It's the best for everybody. In fact, a lot of people get upset with me because I've been saying so many times that keto is not for everybody, that it's not the best diet across the board. But for you, it sounds like you feel great on keto. And when you get off it, you feel like crap. Stay with it, get adapted. You'll be able to handle more carbohydrates later. Let your body heal, let your metabolism pump those ketones through, and you enjoy it. All right. Laylee says, thank you for sharing your family's life with us. I think you're the first person who said the word family through this whole thing. So you get the second cookbook giveaway. LALEE, Laley, M74, M_74. Laley, I would like you, first of all, congratulations. I don't know why, but you win a free copy of the Ketogenic Edge Cookbook, a training manual for low carbohydrate, ketogenic, and paleo cuisine. Laylee, give me your email address and I'll send you a copy of this ebook in your email right now. Give me your email address and then this thing is ending. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. For those of you who wanted a copy of the cookbook for free, I'm sorry, we can't give it all away for free. But every once in a while, we like to hook you guys up because you guys hook us up with so many good questions, with so many good likes, with so many shares. I'm just kidding. I could take or leave the likes or shares, but hey, I'm glad that you guys enjoyed this. I'm glad that you guys enjoyed these hangouts and that you can get something out of it. All right, here's Laylee. We write down your email. There you go, Laylee. Everybody who tuned in, Donna Salas, The Causation, Zach Smith. Zach Smith says it's worth every penny. Go buy one. That's what's up. If you weren't able to get a free copy here today, because I did give away 2 copies, and it's the first time I've ever given away 2 copies in a Hangout. Only the second time we've ever given away a free book during the Hangout. But it is well worth the measly $20, and you can find it exclusively at primaledgehealth.com. It's only available there. You're not going to find it on Amazon. You're not going to find it anywhere else. And you're not going to find more value in any keto cookbook out there. We call it a training manual because that's what it is. It is a training manual for low carbohydrate, ketogenic, and paleo cuisine. And Jessica worked her butt off, and she's actually still working her butt off on the next book. So we'll see you guys next time. You can tune into these live broadcasts by going to primaledgehealth.com, where the ebook is available exclusively, and signing up for our newsletter. You sign up for newsletter updates. I think it's in the, is it the top bar, Jessica?
They're all over the place. They're
at the end of the post or at the top bar. You can sign up for updates via a newsletter, and we will shoot you an email so you can catch these live. Now, you guys' homework for the rest of the day is to get away from the computer, get off Facebook, get off of the social media, get away from the television, get away from all these screens, and go do something meaningful. Go do something you love. Go do something that makes this world more awesome to be in. All right. You can find more at primaledgehealth.com. I will see you guys next time.